welcome to The View from ADB. We are at the Asian Development Bank annual meeting in Frankfurt, and today I'm joined by Cesar Purisima, Finance Minister of the Philippines. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
So I think 2015 was arguably one of the toughest years for emerging markets in recent history, especially many in Asia. Their currencies were devaluating versus US dollars, the commodity price drops, capital outflows, etc. The Philippines, however, was one of the countries that arguably was better placed throughout 2015, especially outflows were not humongous, the balance of payments is still very strong. If you had to highlight a specific policy or set of policies during your mandate that made this possible, what would they be?
Well, the Philippines is one of the resilient economies, primarily because of a strong consumption base. We've had 66 straight quarters of growth since after the Asian crisis. And we're also a structural current account surplus countries for the past 13 years, driven by not only remittances, but increasingly BPOs and tourism. In fact, by 2017, BPOs and remittances will bring in excess of $50 billion. And this has formed the core strength of the country in riding through the difficult economic waters globally. We're trying to balance that by increasing the investment component. In 2016, 5% of GDP is allotted to infrastructure. And I think by doing so, we not only balance the growth, but we also improve the competitiveness of the country because we make it more efficient for business to do business in the country. The main policy change has really been the tone from the top. The tone is that good governance is good economics, the anti-corruption drive, and it basically sent a clear message that the financial markets, the business community, and our people took. It also supported us in pushing through some legislative reforms.
And although the economic fundamentals and also the institutional fundamentals have been extremely strong, there still is a case in the Philippines where around 25% of the population lives below the poverty line. How does a government tackle this issue? What can be done?
Well, the fight against poverty is going to be a journey. And we're addressing it not just from the top, by improving the economic growth of the country, but by really addressing the root causes of it. For example, education, the lack of skills. We've improved, doubled our education budget. We've increased technical vocational scholarships available. The safety net, the conditional cash transfer program, which basically encourages families to keep their children in school and bring them to health centers. It's a stipend that we give to them. Was increased sevenfold. And the theory is this, because the Philippines is one of the, in fact, the youngest country in Asia, that for us to realize the demographic dividend, our people must be skilled and must be healthy. And that's why by addressing the skills issue of the youth, we hope that in the next generation, they will have more opportunities to actually be productive participants in the Philippine economy.
So obviously this is a very long-term trajectory that your mandate has very much
because we want a sustainable solution to poverty. We are also working on the creation of jobs, especially in the agricultural and rural sector. 30% of Filipinos are employed in the agricultural sector, and yet they only produce 12%. So clearly, you see that the underperformance is there. So it's a holistic solution. There is no magic wand in dealing with the issue of poverty.
But when it comes also to, I think, the question of financing, which you have just mentioned, and also other potential challenges for the Philippines infrastructure is always something that is pinpointed to.
Yes.
There has been a push, for example, to look to public-private partnerships. It's something that has happened in the last few years. But what are still the main hurdles to improve infrastructure projects and financing in the country?
I think we've gone a long way in terms of accelerating the process. When we started, there were very few projects that were ready for bidding out. So we have now a pipeline of over 50 projects where the technical feasibility studies have been made or are being done. Two, we've centralized the processing of these projects into one roof under the PPP Center. 3, we have a pending law that strengthens the institutional capacity of the PPP Center, but also making sure that these projects do not become subject to undue taxation by local government units. So I think when that law is passed, and we hope that we're confident it will be passed within the next few months, then I think that will make it easier in the future to
even more potential.
Yeah.
And finally, on a more personal note, of course, in just a few days' time, the Philippines will have presidential elections.
Yes.
What will be your experience and your role after that in terms of your position within government, and what are your future plans?
Well, I've always been in the private sector, so this stint in the public sector is more or less a detour, a unique experience, and I think by June 30, as my wife likes to put it, I'll be doing a real job.
So not in government anymore necessarily.
No. I think government should be a relay race among people, no? So that you run as fast as you can while you're holding the baton, so to speak, because the challenges are quite big, no? And you need a lot of energy, a lot of innovation, and if you stay too long, you can get old in the job, and we need the young and strong and energetic legs.
You're ready to pass the responsibility on?
Oh yes, I can't wait.
Well, good luck with all your new plans, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Thank you.